Hi guys, okay, so welcome back. We are going to be starting with example 3. This is going to be the finish of 10.1. Okay, so example 3 is identifying potential biased questions. What they want us to do is tell whether the question is potentially biased, explain your answer. If the question is biased, rewrite it so that it is not. Okay, so for A, don't you agree that the voting age should be lowered to 16 because many 16-year-olds are responsible and informed? So do we think that this is biased or not? Okay, so I said, yes, this is potentially biased. And the reason I said this is because it makes it seem that lowering the age, the voting age, is a good idea. So like how they word that is, don't you agree? And then it's kind of saying like, because 16-year-olds are responsible and informed, it's kind of forcing you to think, be like, oh yeah, I do agree with that. So how you could write that is, do you think the voting age should be lowered to 16? So with this way of writing it, it's not biased because you're not being leaned one way or the other. It's just coming out straight out saying, should it be lowered or should it stay the same? Okay? I want you guys to pause the video and try B by yourself. Okay, so B says, do you think the city should risk an increase in population by allowing expansion of the Northern Industrial Park? So this one I said is also potentially biased. Because it suggests that that the expansion is going to be a bad thing. So they use words like risk and population. So like those kind of things are kind of swaying you to be like, oh yeah, that is a bad thing. So how I would write this is, do you think the city should expand the Northern Industrial Park? Okay, so in this question, I'm not giving you my opinion at all. I'm not swaying you one way or the other. Okay, all right, so now let's just go on to some practice examples. So for number 1, it says, in a survey about Americans' interest in soccer, the first 25 people admitted to a high school soccer game were asked, how interested are you in the world's most popular sport, soccer? So for these, what you guys, if you're comfortable with, I want you guys to try out the rest of the problems by yourself and then coming back and checking to see if you got the correct answer. If you're needing to follow along, that is totally fine though too. Okay, so it says, is the sampling method likely to result in a biased sample? So with this one, I said yes, because since they're already going to a soccer game, they're probably going to be interested in soccer. So those people are all probably going to answer, yeah, I am interested in soccer, which the whole population, obviously we know some people are not interested in soccer. Okay, so then B, is the question potentially biased? So let's read the question. How interested are you in the world's most popular sport, soccer? So I personally think that this is biased because it's saying the most popular sport, soccer. So like it kind of makes you feel like if you say no, you're not popular, which some people may not think soccer is the most important sport. So yes, this is biased because they imply soccer is the most popular sport. Okay, and like we said, and some people may disagree. So a better way of asking this is, how interested are you in soccer? Okay. It would still be a biased sample though, just because we are at that soccer game. So just be careful with that. All right, so then for number 2, tell whether the sampling method used is likely to result in a biased sample. Explain. Okay. So a family wants to gather information from other residents on their street about forming a neighborhood watch. The survey every third house on both sides of the street. Okay. So going back to just real quick, our sampling methods. This would be a systematic sample because we are selecting certain members using that rule. So it's every third one that they are selecting. Okay. We did say this one could be biased or it may not be. In this case, because we're serving every third house, I would say this is not biased. So no, because you're not really biased in the way you're choosing you choose the houses. Okay. All right, so then for B, says the American Nurses Association wants to gather information about the working environment for nurses in hospitals. A survey for nurses was posted on the association's website. So is this biased? So for this one, it is going to be biased because we are posting it on a website. So some nurses may not have access to the internet. They may not have a computer. They may be a little bit older, so they don't know how to use that. We really don't know. So that is why we're going to say it is biased, because you're only getting the people that want to go on this website and say what their working conditions are. So we're going to just say yes because some nurses may not have access. To internet or the website. Okay. Okay, and then for our last page, so example 3, or the last example, okay. So it says identify the population and classify the sampling method. Okay, so a restaurant manager wants to evaluate the restaurant's quality of service. Diners are given mail-in comment cards. So my population is going to be any diner at the restaurant. So diners at the restaurant. Okay, and then my sampling method. So with this one, diners are given mail-in comment cards. So for this one, so we're going back to these. We'll just start at the bottom. So members of the population select themselves by volunteering. So it would be self-selected because they are selecting themselves to fill out the form, the comment cards, and returning it back to the restaurant. So this would be self-selected sampling. Okay, so then for my next one, population, and then sampling. Okay, a teacher wants to know if students are satisfied with the school's extracurricular activities. In each grade, every 10th student on an alphabetized list is surveyed. So the population is going to be the students in the school. Okay, and my sampling method. So once again, every 10th student is going to be surveyed. So if you look here, they're not really volunteering themselves, okay? Only members of the population who are easy accessible. So this one's not really the case because it's going to be kind of looking at this whole school and every 10th student. A rule is used to select members of the population. So that one is probably going to be the best just because we are selecting students that are every 10th one. So I would say it is going to be systematic sample. Okay. All right, so then make sure you are looking for your homework that is on the website.